My favourite memory of the Tamworth Country Music Festival, that's a really hard question to answer because there are so many. It's just one of those times where so many once-in-a-lifetime opportunities and memories are made. But I would have to say winning my very first golden guitar, or probably, I've got two. Also performing on the Golden Guitar Awards for the very first time.
Well, I don't think you can ever replace that moment of winning your first golden guitar. We were fortunate to pick up Best New Talent back in
2007. 2007. A long time ago now.
And you still remember it?
Yeah.
When we performed at the Golden Guitars last year, it's always been a massive dream for us to play at the Golden Guitars. You know, we've been going ever since we were little.
Yeah, saving up all of our money to come and watch the Golden Guitars. And the year before we performed here was actually, we were like in the very back row watching it, you know, dreaming of one day being nominated, let alone performing. And then, you know, 12 months later, we were up on that stage. So, yeah, pretty amazing.
I play a gig at the Long Yard every year, and the crowd and vibe is just nuts. This festival is absolutely amazing.
It would have to be winning Toyota Star Maker in 2017. I remember just being so over the moon, and I don't think I'll ever forget that feeling of, you know, taking it out.
Well, I guess my favourite memory over, well, what is now 48 years would have to be just the camaraderie that the industry and the artists create when they use Tamworth as a social meeting and gathering point. But I guess the floods in the early 80s were an interesting aspect of the festival when it divided the town in two.
One of the most recent favourite memories was the year that I won the Golden Guitar Award, the first one for the Traditional Country Album of the Year, which I shared with my dad, Brett Dallas. And I know when they read out our names, we sat there in a bit of shock. And it wasn't until sort of doing interviews after the awards night that it got pointed out too that we were the first family to hold 3 generations of golden guitars. So it's a huge honour, and it's definitely up there with one of my most favoured, treasured memories of Tamworth.
Probably the first time I come here as a 10-year-old kid and jumping out of Mum's old Kingswood at the Golden Guitar with bare feet straight onto the asphalt, getting a blister that you wouldn't believe. It was my first lesson on not only how awesome Tamworth could be, but how bloody hot the road gets.
When our friends from across the country come and stay, they camp in caravans, they fill every room of the house and the garage, and we have barbecues and jams, and it is just so much fun and exciting, and now my kids are involved. It is a special thing.
My favourite memory of the festival would have to be the first time I came up here. I was 16 years old and Mum and Dad drove me up so I could busk on Peel Street, and I couldn't get over the way everyone was so welcoming, and I was a stranger, an outsider, and I thought I'd sort of, I don't know, get a bit of hostility or, hello, here's another one trying to compete for our gigs, etc. But everyone just, they welcomed me in. It was like being welcomed into a family, and it really took me back, and I've never forgotten that. It's the camaraderie with the artists that makes country music so special.
I had one as recently as last year when I actually had to sing a Joy McKean song at the Trek on the main stage with her sitting directly in front of me and thousands of people listening. So that's my favourite memory because it went off without a hitch, and she was laughing and clapping when I finished, and and she came up to me afterwards and told me how much she enjoyed my version of her song, which meant so much to me. So I think that's one of my favourite memories of millions of them, I've got to say.
I feel like my favourite memory of Tamworth is probably going to the Academy of Country Music. I met one of my best friends, and now every time I come back to Tamworth I get to see them all again. It's like a family reunion that you actually want to go to.
That very first Golden Guitar was a pretty special moment for the Drover's Wife in 2013. It was pretty magical, you know, to be recognised for, you know, writing music and writing a song that somehow connects from this place to another's heart area, and that was humbling and magic, and yeah, I'm very grateful for that experience.
My favourite memory of the festival would have been those early years where my mum and dad and I would drive together in the car, and they would sit in the front row, and dad would be on the cash tin, you know, selling my CDs, and mum would be there enjoying the songs, and they had the dream as much as I did. And dad's no longer around, but I remember those sweet memories of dad being so proud and mum being so proud.
It's a bit cheesy, but my favourite memory has to be the very first time I ever stepped foot on Peel Street and got to see what it was all about. The buskers, the bustling people, the country music everywhere.
My favourite memory of Tamworth would definitely have to be hearing my name read out not once but twice at the 2019 Golden Guitar Awards. I don't remember what happened after that. The adrenaline and emotion took over for my speech, but it was a moment I will never forget.
Would probably be winning Toyota Star Maker. That was such a big dream of mine for so long. We would come to Tamworth every year and watch the competition, and I would hope to be that person one day on the stage receiving the award, so that was a very big memory for me.
It's probably the first time I came to the Country Music Awards, to the GG Awards, and I told everyone that I was a mechanic. I think just a point of difference because everyone else was a songwriter, and I told them I could fix their car, which I can't, so don't ask.
It would have to have been the fan zone stage, and I was made feel very welcome. I remember very clearly it was Ray McCoy that came up to me straight after my set and couldn't have made me feel any more welcome, and it's a great memory, had an absolute blast.
My favourite memory, I think that first year when we won that first 1981 Golden Guitar for Instrumental, and I guess the other favourite memory was winning another one 29 years later, which was pretty fantastic. But all those great gigs at the Long Yard and the Cavalcade and all those fantastic memories we have.
And the flood. We haven't had a flood for years, maybe for the 50th.